Hello and welcome to Opterra training. Today we are going to look at Paddock Book. Now we are assuming that you have installed the product and activated it, so if you do need help with that one, please see our previous Getting Started video. So today we're going to touch on application event from the home screen, and we're going to record an application event against a recommendation. So I'm touching on application event and it's taking me to the jobs and recommendation screen. Now anything that comes up here visibly is incomplete. You can swipe to the right to see any historical information. So in our jobs and recs, I can see all mix types in this all section here, or I can check the individual mix types by touching on any of these icons, or once again by swiping left or right. So for me, I'm going to have a look at this 22KL recommendation here by touching on the green plus and expanding it, and I'm going to touch on it. So if I expand the mix number 1, I can see that there are 2 paddocks in this recommendation, and it is a fertilizer nutrient application. So to add some details, I'm ready to apply this fertilizer. I'm going to swipe right to the fertilizer screen. So I can see on this one that the product that we're going to apply is urea. And if I expand on that, I can see that we're applying it at a rate of 80 on 2 fields. So I am going to say that I have completed that, or I'm in the act of completing that, by touching in the start time field and scrolling down on the little numbers down the bottom here, the time. I'm going to say I started that this morning at 8 and just touch done. And I am going to finish that in an hour and done. Okay, so I can change any of this information here if I need to. So placement, for example, operation type, and I can also apply a comment. So I'm going to touch on the comment field here, and I'm going to touch under application comment, and I'm going to just say applied as per recommendation, and touch the back button to save that one. So when you're ready to complete this one, you can just touch on save. And I'm going to say that this is completed because I have spread both of those paddocks in this example and touch done. And that's going to sync that information up to corner post. And you can see now we're back on the job rec screen. That information, that recommendation has disappeared from this one. And if I touch over to historical, that 22KL recommendation is there now. So the same process applies for a chemical spray or for any other mix types in the system. So if I just expand on 19KL, I can show you a chemical application. So the same details, but at this time we have water detail and products instead of just fertilizers. So you can expand, you can touch on the fields that you need to change them, and just swipe left to adjust any of the other details. So it's saying that we are using 80 as our spray volume. I'm happy with this information here. Swiping to the products. Start time and end time is the compulsory information. Done. End time. Done. I can adjust any of the rates of application. So it's saying 24D, so maybe I did 1.1 instead of just 1. And done. And this time I'm going to add some weather details for my chemical spray. So I'm going to touch on weather details. And for the A2 paddock, I'm going to say that I started that earlier today. I finished that an hour ago, and the wind speed was 5. I'm going to touch on add to save that detail, and I could add more weather details if there was a change in the weather, or I could also add details for A7. But when I'm ready, I'm going to go back to crop protection, and I'm going to save that, but this time lower than or equal to end date. So I can see I've done something crazy. I've changed my end time to PM, AM. All right, so I'm going to save that, but this time I am going to select in progress because I have done one paddock but not both paddocks, and done, and that'll save that change. But that recommendation is going to stay there until I complete both jobs and touch on the complete status. So that's all you need to do to create an application event in the system. That will copy those details across to actuals in the client file, and that information would be available on Paddock Mobile or on some of our other products. Thanks for joining me today.